bloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day. Up early this morning with bloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody... Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
Very special day it is. It's a beautiful, wonderful Wednesday. That means my partner this morning, my co-host, is Bradley Gilbert from Walmart. Good morning, Bradley.
Good morning, Becky.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
Let's go ahead and thank our sponsors this morning.
All right, we've got Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rose's, Fox Purley Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Marshall Monuments, Totally Baked Sweets, Springer and Springer Insurance, Schneck Hospital, Temple and Temple, and West Bowers Sport Commissioner.
Yay, thank you to our great sponsors. And by phone, we do have, he wears so many hats.
Yes.
That it's hard to get him actually pinned down. We do have Roger Pennington, and I want to give you the title of the new Salem High School, let me make sure, varsity football coach, right?
Yay.
Congratulations, Roger.
Thank you, Becky. Good morning, Bradley and Becky.
Yes.
Great Wednesday morning. No snow on the ground.
I know. We're happy about that. I know. Very happy about that. And I will say, which we are going to talk a little bit further about Walmart, they start getting the mulch and all the dirt over there, and they have that area line or already fenced off. And I'm chomping at the bit over there watching that get done.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the trees and the shrubs.
Yeah, and we're 2 weeks out.
I know.
So 2 weeks out from this weekend, we're going to start getting all that stuff. Like you said, we've already got mulch, dirt, all of that. We've got everything ready. So, and actually we did get a big truck, apparently, from what someone told me yesterday, of rose bushes. So
get out.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's getting time.
I'm loving it. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump in. Roger, let's go back real quick. And, of course, let's kind of tell everyone should know Roger Pennington, but kind of your background, with the fire department and your family's a big part of our community. Kind of tell us a little about Roger first.
Well, born and raised in Salem, graduated in 1986, went to school with you and Bradley both.
Yeah.
You guys were a year older than I. I played football in high school for Coach Ralston and was one of the most incredible experiences of my life and really helped to mold and shape me into the person I am today. Coach Ralston did. And decided to stay home in Salem when I graduated high school. Got a job working at Shrum, a supply company down there on Water Street. I worked down there for 7 years. Was just a great experience. Got to meet all kinds of different people and learn a lot of things about practicality in life that I probably never would have learned if I hadn't worked there. And then I followed in my father and my grandfather's footsteps and joined the Salem Fire Department. I was there for 37 years. I just retired 3 years ago and decided to get into politics a little bit because I wanted to continue to serve the city that I love so much, Salem, and was elected as a city council member. And I've been a coach, Becky, I started coaching 6th grade and 5th grade boys basketball in the late 80s and have coached almost every sport at every level for the last almost 40 years. And has just given me a tremendous amount of joy to see the young men that I've been able to coach and see some of the things they've accomplished. And it just gives me a lot of satisfaction. And I could not be more honored and more proud to be the 11th head football coach in the history of Salem football.
Right, right. And let's kind of go back over, last year you were the interim, and how did that, when you first kind of got put into that, because you were asked to step up, please, and could you do this? Is that correct?
Yeah, I'd been on Coach Gleason's staff his first year here, and then I had to step away for a year. I had some other things I was wanting to focus on, and then when Coach Gleason, unfortunately, got a diagnosis of cancer, he was unable to come back, so they kind of pulled me out of retirement a little bit, and I was more than happy. Believe me, I really missed it for the year that I set out. I was fortunate enough to be the head varsity baseball coach in that year that I set out, so I was still involved and absolutely loved coaching baseball, but was excited to be able to come back last year and fill in, and really got, I still got a lot left in the tank, Becky. I still got a lot of gas left in the tank, and it just kind of reinvigorated me and just really just kind of reinforced all along what I wanted to do, and that was be the head football coach at Salem.
Right, and I think your situation is unique in the fact that you are young, and like you said, you've got a lot to go, still got a lot left in you, but yet you're retired, so that actually helps you somewhat have a little more time, maybe when, that others might not have, correct?
It does, and I own my own business, so I'm extremely blessed to have really good people working for me, and it definitely allows me my schedule to be flexible, like you said, and to be able to do some of the things that I really, really enjoy later in life here, coaching being the thing that I just really feel like I've been called to do, and something that just is a huge part of my life.
Right.
Hey, something, I'm not trying to completely switch gears here, but I'm going to backtrack a little bit here, Roger. I think something that's important for you to talk about, you were talking about working at Wslm Supply, and, those of us who grew up here, we've been blessed with getting a lot of life experiences from people that you run across and in those situations, and that led you to being a third generation of someone who wants to serve the community. So why do you think that's important going forward to how you have continued to serve the community, live your life, and then what those things you can pass on to the young men that you're coaching?
Well, I was fortunate enough to have a really good dad and father figure in my dad, and also my grandfather as well. Service above self was something I was taught at a very young age because they were both involved in the fire department. And you have to understand, back in those days, back when the dinosaurs roamed, the fire department was kind of the central hub of the community. It just really was. It was kind of the meeting place in the morning. Police, state police, farmers, just all different kinds of people were in there every day. And the fire department, not that they're not involved now, because they're extremely involved in the community and they're doing a great job.
Sure.
But it was just a different era. And I think if you're older than 40, I think you might understand that. If you're younger than 40, it's probably going to be a little difficult because, our society's changed over the years. And so I was exposed to a lot of men who were giving a lot of themselves. The fire department back then involved a lot of volunteer opportunities, whether it be collecting money at the Crusade for Children, or, we used to have that burger van, they called it, that we would set up at different functions, like the Fodder Festival and Maxwell Street Days. So just a lot of opportunities to serve. And then working at Wslm's, Bob Wslm was a tremendous influence in my life. He was just a great human being. And I was fortunate enough to know men like that. Dan Kelly was another person that was a tremendous influence on my life. So I was exposed to people that really valued the relationships that they made with people in the community. And so that's influenced me.
I love that. Let's go, but yeah, I think that's fantastic, and I think it's good to show, the background and how much you're loved, because I think that shows, definitely. I think the vision that I remember, let me roll back last year, underneath the Friday night lights, and it just seemed like, watching the Salem football and watching, I don't even remember who you were playing, but I remember it just felt like you just really just took right to it. Was that something that just came really natural to you, coaching?
Yeah, I've always been able to relate to kids, and it's something that it just comes natural to me. Not that it doesn't come natural to other people, but I've always been comfortable in my skin with who I am, and I just enjoy coach. I enjoy the challenge of taking a young person and teaching them something and watching them kind of evolve and watch the improvement. I get more satisfaction out of that. That's why when I was coaching younger kids, whenever my boys played, it was fun when I was coaching, Little League Baseball, to see a kid his first year that had trouble catching a ball. And then by the end of the year, he was catching everything that was in his area, or he wasn't able to hit at the beginning of the year, and then became a really good hitter. That's the part of coaching that I really like. And that's why I think I've had a lot of success coaching, because of those relationships that I'm able to build with those young men and the trust that goes both ways. And whenever a player feels like you have their back, I'm telling you, they're gonna have yours. They're just gonna have yours, and they're gonna give a maximum effort every single time.
And we're not going to take away from anybody else, but because your experience, when you first, like the very first time you got to meet these guys and have that first meeting with them, what was the vibe, and was that something you were wanting to change, or because every coach has to make it their own? But I mean, was that something that what did you feel that first encounter that you met with?
Just being honest, Salem football was down a little bit. I feel like our numbers were really low when I was offered the interim job last year. I think we were down to 22 kids on our roster, which is really unheard of for Salem football. So I spent the first week just trying to recruit our players back, and our numbers weren't where they needed to be last year. We got up to almost 40. I think we finished with 38, which is still really low. But for a multitude of reasons, and we're not looking backwards, but Salem football was not where it needed to be.
Right.
Really, a lot of fronts, and so I just tried to inject a lot of enthusiasm and excitement, and obviously being a former Lion and having supported football here since I played football here, and having a connection with the program for that long, and having a good relationship with coaches that have coached there over the years, and then having been on the staff and having already known these guys, definitely was an advantage for me. But yeah, it wasn't where it needed to be, and that's one of my purposes. That's one of the reasons I was hired, was to take us back. Even though we're using the word back, we're still moving forward, but get us back to that 65, 70 player football roster that's competing for Mid-Southern Conference championships and sectional championships. That's really what we're about.
So I think, building on that, if you looking back just to honor the history and the tradition, there's a lot to build on. There's a lot to draw from, just that program being such a long-term successful program. How do you build on that history and tradition and make it yours as your teams going forward?
Well, the first thing is you don't forget what came before you, and that's why we honor those and we respect players that played before us. There's a bust of Jim Shields that's at the bottom of the football ramp when you walk onto Jim Ralston Field, and Jim Shields was a player here. He was a quarterback. He played in the mid-'70s. Was just an outstanding athlete, kind of a character in the community, was an outstanding Mason. He worked in Washington County most of his life, and I think his class put that bust up, and every time we walk past that, we want to touch that. That's kind of our Notre Dame moment, I guess you could say. Notre Dame has a lot of those things that they do, and that's kind of what we do. And that's a way to honor somebody that came before us, and I want our kids to know that, believe it or not, somebody else wore that uniform before you did. So football just didn't happen last year. We've been a football program since 1960, and we've had now myself being the 11th head coach, and I am just honored to follow in the footsteps of all those guys who helped pave the way for me. And a couple of those people being, Jim Ralston was one of the most influential people in my life. So I take all those things that I learned from every coach that I've been around, and then you incorporate that into your own philosophy and your own system. But I will say that of all the years that I've been involved, and like I said, it's been 40 years, I've never seen an administration that is all in and is completely bought in on football right now. I mean, it is a great time to be a Lion. We have a tremendous amount of support from our superintendent all the way down through our school board. And so I want to thank those people for this opportunity and for all the hard work that they're doing to really show their support and that they want football to take that next step as well.
Yeah. I definitely think so. I think so I do want to go on, and I know everybody's chomping at the bit. We're going to find out about the team, and we're going to get into the exit or whatever, all of the information. But I need to kind of just put a blanket statement. I think, Roger, it's fair to say that I think all across the board, all sports, and I think all schools, Salem's not unique in that there are a lot of things that they're battling because a lot of maybe. They have either, there are a lot of games of people playing the video games. I'm not knocking that, but I'm saying there's been a lot of decline in a lot of things, maybe on sports too, that I think people have been hard hit. But maybe we're turning it back around and getting more of the, I believe in high school, it's your one opportunity to do all that you can do like this, because, we, as an adult, it's hard to get, and you can get like a football league, trying to get, because usually everybody's so busy.
Well, yeah, and I will say, not to interrupt, but I will say that I one of the things that I feel like I do really well is I'm able to motivate kids. I am a great motivator of young men, especially, and the society that we're in now, it's not as active as of a society, and physical education it just doesn't happen as much as we would like it to. And so, yes, you're right. Numbers are down when it comes to sports, generally across the board. But I've been able to motivate kids over my career, and I feel like I'm going to get them out, and our numbers are looking really good. And I've only been officially named the head coach for about 3 weeks now, and we've already had 1 or 2 staff meetings. And last night I was meeting with parents and players. I'm doing some individual meetings for the next 3 weeks with each player and his parents or his guardians or whoever he's living with, to talk about what their expectations are and what mine are, and it's just that opportunity to start building that relationship. And those are really important, and I just feel really blessed to be able to do that in the community that I love, in the community that I live and I work and that I grew up in.
So how do you and that's great. That's very important. So when you're building a team for football and you're motivating these young men, how do you pass on and teach them or give them the motivation to also think about football is important, but it also will open doors for them to do other things and other ways to be involved in the community? How do you work that into how you are a coach and a motivator and an example for these young men?
Well, from the experience that I had, I will tell you that almost every really important friend that I've had in my adult life was somebody that I played high school football with. Just that connection that's made. And football is a unique sport, like every sport, but football is a unique sport in that it just seems to really bond people together a lot closer than other sports, and I really can't put my finger on why. I don't know if it's because you're out on the gridiron, as they call it, and it is probably the closest sport to a military-type organization, if that makes sense, with the discipline and the structure that you have to have success. And so it's also a sport where it's I watch your back, you watch mine. I got your back, you got mine, and you're all out there competing physically. And when you put your body on the line, it always just feels different. I don't know if you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. If you've never really played football, sometimes it might be hard to get that. But if you've played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so it's just those relationships that you build with your teammates, and then that just continues to boil over when you become a coach. And that's something that our football team is really close. We are a very tight-knit group of people. And, at the end of practice every day, every coach tells the players that they love them. And I know that might sound a little cliche and corny, but at Salem, it's absolutely the truth. I mean, we care about these kids. They're not just football players. They're human beings. They're people that are going to grow up. They're going to become dads and husbands and, people that employ people or people that start businesses or go into the military or whatever they choose. And I want this experience of playing high school football at Salem to be a big molding factor in their life.
Right. And I think that's exactly what I love that as a wonderful goal. That should be a great goal there. But enough about you, Roger. Let's talk about that team, okay? What do we got?
Well, and I just want to springboard one thing is, I was talking to a freshman and his dad last night, and we were talking. I was telling him to just live in the moment and don't take any moment in your high school football career for granted.
Oh.
Enjoy every single thing. Enjoy walking to practice.
Oh.
Enjoy all that stuff, because football is the only sport that once you leave high school, if you don't play it in college, you'll never play it that way again. You just will never put on a helmet and shoulder pads again. You can go play tennis into your 60s or 70s. You can play golf. You can play pickup basketball. You can play adult softball when you graduate high school. But you don't play football the way you played in high school ever again.
True.
So that's why I really stress to these guys every moment, don't take it for granted. Enjoy it. Live in that moment and enjoy those 4 years, because for the majority of high school football players, that's it. There is no college football. Very few players go on to play college, and the numbers are really, really low. And so just really enjoy that moment.
Right.
I think that's a very important point. That's a life lesson too, because we're in a world now that things move so fast, and sometimes even as adults we forget to be in that moment and enjoy that moment. And I'd never heard that talked about that way, and so I think that's a great perspective. That that's a great thing. The kiddos need to understand that they need to be present. They need to be in that, and no matter what your place on the team is, honor and appreciate the fact that you are part of a group that is looking out for your best interest and has your back. And in those moments, and it may seem small to some people, but enjoy those small moments where you're just like, this is right now, this is great. This is what life and those moments are about. So,
well, this is also going to be a special year. And this is kind of a bittersweet moment for me, because as excited as I was to be named the new head football coach at Salem High School, I lost a very, very dear friend, and we lost a former player and a coach right now, and just one of the best human beings that we can ever imagine, in Coach John Haven, who passed away about a week ago. And John was one of my best friends since high school. He was an important person in my life. He had been a coach at Salem. I actually got him out of retirement last year. John had been he had been on the varsity staff back about 12 years ago, and I think every coach since Coach Motzinger had tried to get him out of retirement, and he said no, but he said yes to me last year. And I was fortunate enough to have him on my staff. Was looking forward to having him back this year, and then, unfortunately he, developed cancer there and passed away. Just a very, very tragic situation, and something that hit our football team and our coaching staff really hard. I had spoke to John a couple of days before he had went into the hospital, and he was excited about coming back. He was excited about the kids. He was excited about having the opportunity to take our football team in a different direction. And so that's something that our players are they dedicated the season to Coach Haven, and we're going to wear the number 83 on the back of our helmet. There's a lot of things we're going to do this year that are going to be in honor of John.
I love that. Last year, when you first when you first did the media day, and I got out there to watch him. I mean, he was all grinning, and and then watching the season with his relationship with these young men. What a wonderful asset. What any words of wisdom that he gave to our young men need to be treasured. And he was so happy. He was just right there in his element. It looked everything was so awesome with him being a part of your staff last year.
Yeah, he was our spiritual backbone.
Yes.
John loved the Lord, and he served the Lord, and that was an important part of his life.
Absolutely.
Every Wednesday after practice, he took the kids to his classroom, and he had a Bible study with them if they wanted to go. Yeah. I mean, that's just an unbelievable thing for a high school football coach to do, and he's going to leave a tremendous legacy with a lot of young men that are going to remember him, and we're never going to forget him. I lost one of my best friends, and it's just such a tragedy for his family. He was teacher at Salem High School, so we lost him there as well. So
Yeah, very, very sad, very sad. All right, so let's go on with the, let's talk about, as of right now, and we hope that, that of course we'll have more recruiting and more people more boys coming out, but let's talk about right now what so far of what your team is looking like this year.
well, I'm excited. We're going to have we're going to field about 50 to 55 kids this year.
That's awesome.
Which is going to be a really nice number for us to have coming off of a year where our numbers were really down. I'm excited about the freshmen we have coming in. This will be my freshman class, and I'm going to have, and that's always important to a coach, that first group of freshmen that come in that are going to be exposed to the program that you're trying to create, and then you can watch them, progress through their high school career. I'm excited. We're going to have probably 16 or 17 seniors, which is a great thing for a football coach to have that much, that much leadership and a lot of experience there. We got a lot of kids that played a lot of football at Salem. They're going to be seniors, so I'm really excited. We got a couple important positions that we're going to have to fill. We'll have some real good competitions for those positions. We're going to keep the same offensive scheme that we've run the last 4 years. I really like it. I think it fits our personnel. I think it fits the style of football that we want to play. There'll be a lot of changes on the defensive side of the football, and the kids are excited about those, and I'm excited about them. And the staff's already in place, and we're off and running, Becky.
I love that. That's awesome. And of course, right now, just kind of making sure you are not allowed to practice as of right now, right?
Right now yes, we are in a limited contact period, so there's no organized practices or anything like that. We'll start our spring practice back up in April, and it lasts until the middle of May, and then we take a couple weeks off, and we'll be right into our summer practice. And once summer practice begins, that's when it gets serious. Our first football game, I think, is August the 24th. It's late August. I don't have the schedule in front of me there. So, yeah, once you get through February and March, football season kicks in.
Right.
Definitely not a 3-month season anymore. It's kind of a year-round sport.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think, and of course, they're all individually on their own, lifting weights, working out, and, and getting themselves. And I guess that's a whole new, we've talked about like how, schools have trainers now, which I love the idea of making sure that, and of course I know that you coaches know, but making sure that they're handling the weights correctly, they're exercising correctly, and because these are muscles that are being developed, and you want them, you don't want to do too much or not enough or push it, and I love the emphasis that we put on this now.
Yes, you're right, and that is one of the areas that I talked about when I had my first meeting with the boosters and parents and players, and the community was. We have to have a tough conversation sometimes about, maybe what we're not doing well. And I've been watching this for a long time. I've been paying attention. I've been taking notes. I've been taking mental notes. I've been talking to coaches from other communities, and we were getting beat in the weight room, Becky. That's where we're getting beat. Our athletes at Salem are just as good as athletes at other schools. It's not that. It was our system. It was our culture, and it was our lack of being bigger, stronger, and faster than our opponent. And that's in every sport, and that's across the board, boys and girls. And I think that we are turning the corner on that. And I can tell you that, we have some exciting things coming in the future when it comes to the weight room and to strength and conditioning at Salem. That will be happening fairly soon. That it's really going to pay off. And that is an emphasis that we absolutely have to have. And I can see it more and more now. And I think that we might have crossed that threshold now where we are all in on the weight room, and we have one of the. I don't know if people understand this, but the weight room we have over at the high school is as nice as some small colleges.
Oh yeah.
It just is. It is not a lack of facilities at Salem. It is. I mean, that has not been a problem with our athletics. We have incredible facilities, but that was one of the jobs that I had to do as football coach, was completely change our culture and our identity as a football program, and that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing, and that we've already started to do, and we started last year. And now that this is, quote-unquote, my program, I'm going to be able to do that from the high school all the way down to our youth league. So there's some exciting changes at the high school level that are going to happen, but the weight room, talking to one of the best coaches in the state of Indiana. I got an opportunity to spend some time with him last year, and he said the same thing. He said, athletes at Salem are not the problem. You guys are getting killed in the weight room. And so I took that to heart, and I really appreciated him giving me that advice. And I think it's spot on.
Well, that's good that it can be identified, you know what I'm saying, and something to work on, and goals. We love that for sure. And of course, it definitely will have everyone buy into it more, if they're feeling better about themselves and and I'm a huge believer in taking care of yourself and getting up and moving and using those muscles. I'm not trying to, I'm going to kind of jump over because you got hired on a Monday. Thursday you had a parent and meeting.
Yeah, we had a staff meeting on Wednesday of that week.
So here was a busy week. Hired on Monday, staff meeting on Wednesday, and parent meeting on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm a workaholic, Becky. I think you probably know that.
I do, but
I wear a lot of different hats, but I've always been pretty good at the time management, and I am kind of an organizational freak, so to speak. So I'm very organized, and time management and being able to maximize the amount of work I can do with an hour or an hour and a half has never really been a problem. And I'm a night owl. I'm never in bed before 1. So I get a lot of work done at home. When everybody else might be watching TV, I'm usually working in an office, working on something that has to do with football.
Love that.
So when you have those moments where you're just maybe not even thinking about football or you're thinking about one of the other many hats that you wear, what you do in the community and work and everything, your service, when you have one of those moments, just like, oh, I got to think, do you write it down? Do you just take a mental note of it? Do you then pivot so you don't forget about that, or how do you handle it?
I'm one of those people, Brad, that if it's 2 a.m. and I have a thought in my head, I got a pad of paper above my bed and I write it down. That's when I do a lot of, everybody has their moment, whether it's driving to work, whether it's mowing the yard, or you have those moments where it's just you to yourself, and that's when your mind really starts to work. And mine happens to be if I might wake up and something's in my head that sounds really good, I just jot it down so that I don't forget that. And then the next morning when I get up, I look at it, there it is. I'm ready to go act on that, or I'm ready to include that in whatever I might be working on.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So going back on the parent meeting, how was that received? I'll tell you what everyone was saying behind your back, but how did you what did you think afterwards, people coming up to you, how was the meeting received?
I think it was received very well. I like I said, I know personally almost everybody in that audience, and you have to understand, just like you do and like Brad does, being in the community for as long as we have, you have generational type of relationships that you have with families. Mm-hmm. That your family has had connections and has had a relationship with almost every family at some point that's in our community, and that includes people that move in that might have moved here 30 years ago, and maybe they haven't lived here their entire life, but they've been here long enough that you have that relationship with that family at some point. And so that definitely makes it easier, for sure, than being an outside person that comes in and really not knowing anybody and having to start that over. I've already done that. That's already done, and that's a huge part of being a successful coach, is having those relationships, and that's why I'm putting so much effort into that. And one of the big changes that we're going to make is our middle school football program is going to be a twin brother to the high school program. They are going to run the exact same offense, the exact same defense. Our special teams will be exactly the same. As a matter of fact, we're going to do something that I've wanted to do for a long time. It makes a lot of sense. We're going to practice the middle school on the field with the high school. So those practices are going to be going on at the same time. Actually, the first hour of practice, the middle school will be in with the high school when we do our warm-ups and we do our drills and we do some of those things. Now, it's not going to be middle schoolers against high schoolers, obviously, but they're going to be working in with us. And that gives me an opportunity to be on the field with the 7th grader, and I can start that relationship then. And that's only going to benefit me when he becomes a freshman. He's going to know our system. He's going to know what I expect. He's going to know how I coach, and I want to know him. And so that's something that we're going to do. It just makes sense to marry those two things to just build that consistency that we need from the top to the bottom.
Right.
And I think that's great way to change. And you're talking about changing culture. I think that's a great change. I think also the thing to think about that is those 7th graders get to see those 11th and 12th graders that are their heroes that they look up to, and having the time for those. There's nothing better, in my opinion, whether it's sports, business world, whatever. There's nothing better than that person you look up to taking time to help you grow and develop and increase your talent. And I think that'll be a great shot in the arm. I really do.
Well, it's just building that. I think Coach Hartsfield had started to do some of that, and he and I probably think alike on some of those things, but I want that consistency from the top all the way down to the youth league, and the way that we structure our youth league now, the high school football coach is basically kind of in charge of that league. We have a league director that does all the organization and sets up schedules and all that, but I have a lot of ability to make changes at that level as well, and so we're going to introduce our offensive scheme down at that level so that our offensive players are running the offense that we run. And I'll be honest, probably another thing that we're not going to do as much, and this is counterintuitive to what every coach or anybody that's competitive wants to say, is we're not going to focus as much at our youth league and our middle school level on winning. And I know that sounds crazy. We don't want to lose, but we don't want to hang our hats on being middle school champs, if that makes sense. And we are notorious for being middle school champs in almost every sport, but it doesn't translate to the high school level. So that's another one of those issues that I've watched and I've studied, and having the ability to talk to that legendary coach that I told you about earlier. That's another thing that he pointed out to me that I had been thinking all along was he didn't care if his middle school team was 4-4. It didn't matter to him, as long as they were competitive, as long as they were enthusiastic, they were learning the fundamentals, they were learning how to be a good teammate. By the time he got them at high school, that's when they started to excel. And so if that makes sense, because it was hard for me being a competitive person to say we're not going to hang our hat on having the best 5th grade team in the state. We want to have the best high school team in the state.
Well, I was going to say that after the meeting, I heard so many people that really were happy about what the new ideas, the new thoughts, and they loved your communication, and that's so valuable with parents and and grandparents or aunts or uncles or and they loved all that. So I heard nothing but positives about that meeting, and I think that speaks volumes of what your ideas are and some of the things you kind of want to tweak and make your own and some changes. I think it's fantastic, and I love the idea. I'm with Brad and you on the middle school. I think that's fantastic, and I love everybody working the same, and I think that's a great opportunity. I think you kind of go back, I don't know, to Gladiator, if you remember in the movie or whatever, everybody kind of got their backs together and they were together. They're so much more powerful. I know we're talking middle and high school. There's a huge difference in age. Yeah, I get that, but still training them and working them with the others. And they're not going to listen to anybody more. I mean, if you're a 7th grader and you hear a senior talk to you, that's the best teacher you could ever have, correct? Yeah,
and yes, and when I'm talking to my seniors, and I've already met with, I think, most of my seniors. I've still got a few that I got to meet with. We are really stressing trying to change the culture in our locker room, and I've told them there's nothing better than if a senior does that. I can go out there as the coach and I can slam my hand on the whiteboard on the wall, and I can get real passionate, which I can. But there's nothing better than a senior going up to a freshman and putting his arm around him and saying, "Hey, this is how we do things here now. This is the Salem way. This is what we expect." And I want our seniors to almost, because when I played, I'll be honest, when I walked in that locker room as a little skinny freshman in 1982, the senior football players were men. I looked at them as somebody like my dad. They were grown-up men. I didn't see them as another high school kid. And I was fortunate to have some really good seniors when I was a freshman that, once again, helped mold this person that I've become over 40 or 45 years. And so that's what I want our seniors to do. And that's going to be really important to change that locker room culture, and we've talked about it. And this senior class has the ability to do it. They're going to do it. They want to do it. I think they love that opportunity, and so that's going to be a huge part of what we're doing.
I love it. That's great.
Well, Becky, I'll just tell you this. When I was in 7th grade, and you'll know who I'm talking about when I say his name, my favorite football player at that time, this is the late 70s, Tony Dorsett for the Dallas Cowboys was everybody's favorite player. And I loved Tony Dorsett, too. But my favorite football player was Pat Schaus.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Pat Schaus, who I wanted to be. I think he was number 42, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
He was probably a senior when I was in 7th grade. Pat Schaus was my football hero. So, Pat, if you're listening, and I know his brother Rick, I know the family, I wanted to be Pat Schaus.
Oh, and I don't think he
was my hero.
I don't think you could stop him.
No.
So that's what we're trying to do, like Bradley was saying, with our middle school, is when these guys can actually physically go up and give a Pat Schaus person a high five as a 7th grader. I would love to have that opportunity.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that would have helped. That would have helped shape me and would have made me, as the old phrase goes, want to run through a brick wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I completely, yes. That was, I have to agree. It was a total different, the total different, you know, I don't know. I don't know if they were working out. I don't know, but yes, totally different, you know, in shape. I mean, the strength that he had, and I think that was a beautiful role model for you, for sure.
Yeah, I thought he was the greatest football player in the world. My hero wasn't an NFL player or a college player. It was a Salem High School football player.
No, I think, well, definitely, you picked a good one. I have to agree with you on that. Definitely, that's definitely a name you never forget at Salem High School.
Well, and let's face it right now, and I'm not, we have, all of our football players are going to be great, because that's another thing that we focus on is I'm trying to build a championship football program, and like I said at my meeting, that means everybody's got to be a champion.
Yeah.
If you're a parent, you got to be a championship parent. If you're a ticket taker, you got to be a championship ticket taker. If you're a concession stand worker, you got to be a champion. Everybody has to be a champion, and that's a mindset. Mm-hmm. And you have to start somewhere. And when you start feeling that about yourself and you start acting like that, believe me, you will become a champion. You just will. So that's kind of that philosophy that we're trying to instill here.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it, and I love the encouragement, the pep talks, and you know, and the mindset. You know, just I love that, and that's fantastic. I think Roger. I think it's to me this is just a no-brainer. I think you're going to do a great job. I think I can't wait to see the guys and you in action. I can't wait, and of course we love football. And we love the Friday nights and exciting, and you know, with all this weather that we got going on right now, I think everybody's chomping at the bit for that.
Yes, spring is in the air. Days are getting longer.
Yeah.
We have baseball season to get through first, which I'm excited about. Nothing like baseball. That always signifies the start of spring to me, and we're already into spring training. And I know you're a huge Reds fan, and so am I. Yeah. So baseball is first up here.
Yes, which we're excited about that. Yeah. And you'll be coaching the Salem Lions varsity baseball too.
Yeah.
I am, and we have a tremendous amount of talent over on the baseball side as well, and we are expecting really big things. We have almost everybody back from a team that won 15 games last year. Providence is no longer in our baseball sectional, which is huge for us because they were defending state champions last year. I think they went back to either the Final Four or the championship game, so they have had to move up a class. They're going to be playing in a 3A sectional this year in baseball, so that's going to be huge for our kids because that's who knocked us out last year, obviously, and we beat them in the regular season at home, and then they got us in the sectional. So that opens up a lot of doors in sectional and regional opportunities for the Salem Lions baseball team.
I love that. And I tell you, I encourage everyone, go support the Salem Lions baseball. It's so much fun. The games are fun to go to. It's really a fun group to watch. It's a fun group, and I say and you want to just have a great time relaxing outside and getting some fresh air and watching a baseball game. That's the USA, isn't it? Isn't that in America?
And I mean, it's America's pastime, Becky.
Exactly right. I love it. I love baseball, and I love it. And the games are the guys. You will by the end of the game, you will know every one of them. I mean, their personalities are contagious. Just watching them, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys play on the football team as well. There's a lot of that crossover.
Yeah. So
I'm just fortunate enough to be able to coach. And I want to give a quick shout out too to our booster clubs in both baseball and football, well, in every sport, but the two that I work very closely with are football booster clubs called the Linebackers, and those folks are a tremendous asset to our program. They do so much behind the scenes. Those are all volunteers. We actually have a parent whose son is going to graduate this year who won't even be playing football in the fall, and she stayed on that organization to help us because of the friendships and the good that she's doing for the football program. So we need volunteers to make sure that that program is going to continue because they are a tremendous part of our success at Salem. That booster club was formed back, in the mid-'90s when my boys went through the high school football program. I was a parent. I was a linebacker. So that's important, and we have a great group of parents on our baseball boosters, as well. So I want to make sure everybody understands that there's a lot of people doing things behind the scenes you don't see that help make our programs what they are.
Yeah. And you can't beat coming out to a game and underneath the lights and having great concession stand, get all kinds of stuff there. So it's a great way to come out and even if you don't have a family member or a kid in the program, come out, support the community. It's a great thing to do, and you get to see the future leaders of our community and other communities as well.
Sure. Roger, you've been very generous with your time.
Yes.
I think last night we talked about 20 minutes. I always push it, so I appreciate you.
Well,
so
once I start talking, Becky, about something I'm passionate about.
I like it. I like what you're
Absolutely.
saying. Yeah, and I know I really want other people to. I want our whole community and even the surrounding communities that are listening. I want them to know what's going on. I think it's important. And you should. You're doing some great things, and we're anxious to see, starting off with the spring sports, the baseball, which is exciting time. We're all ready for that, and then we'll be heading on, and there's other sports going on too. But then before too long, we'll be underneath the Friday night lights with football.
Yeah.
So exciting time. So.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk to you guys.
And I feel like I need to go lift some weights. I feel like you inspired us to do something. Brad and I are going to at least go lift some paper over here.
We got to do something.
Some ink pens. We got some ink pens or something we're going to lift over here.
Yeah.
I think some dumbbells there in the studio would be great.
Yeah, that's right.
You can do arm curls while you're
Hey, are you calling us dumbbells in the studio?
How do you know we're not doing that? How do you know we don't each have like a 5-pound something going on?
When it comes to you and Bradley, the sky's the limit. There's no doubt with what you two can come up with.
Hey, don't underestimate what we're doing over here. You don't know it's radio. We could be lifting these weights right here now. You know what I mean? We might be doing jumping jacks. We're just that in shape that you're not. Don't count us out, Roger. Okay. If you need us to, if you need backup, here we are. Yeah.
Hey, here's kind of what we say: once a lion, you're always a lion.
I agree.
There
Absolutely.
You go.
Kind of your ride or die guys. I mean, that's the way we are here. Once you're part of this club, you never get out of it. You're always in it.
That's exactly right. Roger, have the best day ever. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work. Let's revisit again, and we'll check out, maybe have some more information, and let's have some more. We'll talk more about baseball as we get a little closer to that, and talk about your team, and maybe have some of the guys on or something, okay?
That sounds great. Thank you guys very much. You have a great day. Go Lions.
Yeah, thanks, Roger. Bye. Fantastic. We got him longer. Yeah, he said he only got him like 20 minutes, and it's like, okay.
And that's a great thing because, like, when you're excited and passionate about something, it's just like, that's like us. We get on things.
Absolutely.
There's been times it's been like, well, there's not going to be anybody there. Can you fill an hour?
Can we fill an hour?
But I mean, and I think it's also good for people in the community and people part of the school system, not part of the school system, to just to look forward, and there's going to be some great things, and honor the past, but him and his staff are going to be building on what we've got going on and changing things up, and I think the life lessons that these young men get from an early age, I think that's you make them important contributors if they stay here or go somewhere else or come back later, whatever. I think those are important. And who doesn't want to coach for any sport that's not excited about what they're doing,
I agree.
So
yeah, absolutely. For sure. Yeah. Well, you want to do that. You know what I mean? You want to, and you and I both have, growing up, we had some really good coaches. And there was coaches that like they made you want to do that. You know what I mean? They made you want to get that. And I think that's really important. Getting them motivated, getting them, to buy in, if you will, and to be a part. And I think that's I think he's on a great path, and I think it's only going to just keep, going stronger. So it's exciting. It's like a locomotive. He's getting his, I need more power, Captain, or whatever. Now I'm thinking Star Trek, whatever.
Yeah.
And so anyway, but I think that the power's there. But I need to switch gears because I want to congratulate you. I've been chomping at the bit because you just got a major award.
I did.
And it wasn't a lamp.
Thank you. No, it was not a lamp. I would have taken the lamp.
Yeah, I know. Everybody
I would have taken that for Gile. So.
No, please, and I know you don't want to brag on yourself, but I want to brag on you because I'm so proud of you and I'm so excited. And it was funny because we were just talking the other day. I was talking to someone that came into the studio and we were talking. They were like, "This Walmart gets so many awards all the time," and I'm like, "They do." Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, before we talk about me, there was other awards. We had a market meeting, what we call YBM, year beginning meetings, and we just set the tone for what we're going to do. In relationship to the things that Walmart says that this is our priorities and our pushes for the year. And our year is always February 1st through January 31st. So we just are in our third week of our fiscal year. But so there was a lot of awards, and it's always, I always. You were there in the beginning with how excited I was to bring Walmart, the company, going on 20 years, and the company, and then get to bring it home, and all the things that I know that we can do for the community in small ways and things. But it's always good to represent and get to go to these meetings and things. And so we won a total of 6 awards, I think. And so we had our digital won a couple of awards for Digital of the Year, which was great. We were the Associate Engagement Store of the Year, and I think that's important because that's our Associate Engagement Survey is what our associates rate their stores, their Walmart experience, how they feel about their jobs. And the Salem store, that's the proudest award that I could ever accept, is because on AES we were #1 in the market, #1 in the region, #1 in North BU. We were in the top 10 in the entire company of almost 5,000 supercenters right here.
Awesome.
And I think that is attributed to Mike. I think his leadership and how that sets the tone for this store, and great associates. So we won that. We have not had an accident in over 525 days for an associate. So we went on a streak over 3 years, and we've had 2 associate accidents in the 9.5 years we've been open. That's just crazy.
That is crazy.
That's crazy, and in a good way. So there's that, and so we won that. So we got a safety award. Our fashion team was Store of the Year for fashion. Yay! For the upgrades we're making, and there's still more to come. There's still new brands coming in. But I was named the People Leader, People Partner of the Year.
Yay!
And that's based on our HR metrics and our people metrics, and turnover, associate engagement, talent development, all of that kind of stuff. Because I know people kind of think, well, all he does is just do hiring. That's a small piece of what I do.
Sure.
I lead the succession planning and talent development for our folks that want to promote to go other places, things like that. So that is something I'm really is important to me. But the associate engagement piece, taking great care of our associates. So
I would think I would just be over the moon to be recognized. Did you know it was coming?
No, it was a surprise. So
how did you feel? Like, here they tell the category and then you hear your name. I mean, like, I just think what a huge accomplishment.
Well, Tony flipped it on me a little bit. We were not ready to give the awards, we were doing, because it was a day-long meeting, and we were actually doing a lot of Walmart work for setting the tone. And I help Kelly and Tony and do things with them. And but she called me up right after we did our store presentations and all of that. And so it's not uncommon for me to help them with these meetings and things. So she called me up there, and she said, well, and I knew I was going to I had a talk to give. I thought it was later in the day, but I thought, oh, okay, so because she's known to, I want to change things up a little bit. It was great. You know Tony, she's amazing, the best market manager anybody could ever.
Very passionate.
Very passionate and things. So the thing was that she called me up there, and so I thought I was going to have to lead off the talks, and she said, I just wanted to, this is an award that we're not to the awards section yet, but I want to recognize him. And so that was very good. But the other part of that is, and I'm very honored. I have great peers, and I love the people I'm shoulder to shoulder with in the market and the region, and there's a lot of great things, but at the same time, I just feel like I just do my job and what I'm supposed to do every day. And I don't approach it for awards. I am appreciative of the award.
Yeah, sure.
But I was totally surprised. So, but I'm very honored and appreciated.
But it's always nice. Okay, so you're going along and you do what you do every day, you know, and then when someone says we recognize, and then you're outstanding. You're doing it really well. You know what I mean? And probably you could use that as a role model. You know what I mean? Or as a suggestion for others. I mean, how wonderful! What a huge accomplishment, Brad. I really want you to understand that. I know, when you receive a gift as this, if you have to receive it, and I just want to make sure that I'm so proud of you.
Well,
I think
thank
it's
you.
great.
I again, I wouldn't be able to do anything or be successful. Well, we'll tie back to some of the things that the growing up, some of the folks that I had, Ann Terrell taught me how to set goals for myself and be organized, Margie Morris, raise your hand, ask questions, talk in class, don't be afraid.
Right.
Of course, Richard Trueblood just teach you to conquer the world, but be okay if you want to come home.
And have fun doing it.
And you've got
enjoy your life while you're doing it.
Yeah, and you've got the Dan Mullins of the world that, I got to partner with him with stuff coming back and those people and so
treasures.
You have those and I wouldn't be doing what I do with Walmart without those folks. And then I have had great mentors and great leaders that I've worked for and with, great peers shoulder to shoulder. But we've got great people over here. I wouldn't be able to do anything without the great people I work with every single day. Mike King included, and more than anything. So.
Yeah. Well, and you talk about a wonderful leader.
Oh.
Right.
But I was very appreciative. I hesitated sending that or letting anybody know.
To know that.
But it was one of those things that it caught me off guard, and I'm very humbled. And,
as you should be. I mean, you should be very happy about this. I mean, you should be very proud about this.
But I will accept it with knowing that all of the people that I get to work with every day, and even members of the community help me be better at my job. So.
I wish, done the, when Sally Field got her award, you do love me.
You like me. You really like me.
If you would have done that to them, that would have been great.
And the two people I was in the picture with, are very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony and Kelly and people I work with and for and with, and, it was very important, so. Yeah. That will be framed. The award's already in my office, but the picture is going to be framed and in my office as well.
I love it.
Anybody wants to come see it, come see the other things about Walmart. We'll show you that, but there's so many other things. So.
Great things for sure. Well, I'm loving it. Love it. Well, I wanted to bring attention to that. So, Brad, also, we're going to be traveling up Saturday morning, we're going to get up early, and we are going to be carrying the Borden game, the Borden Braves, Lady Braves. We're excited about that, and we want to wish them well, and hopefully they're going to get a win, and then they're going to celebrate, and then we're going to go jump right into the Lady Musketeers, and going to get that win, and just coming back, from the southern part of the state and putting us on the map, Washington County, with Eastern, and of course right next here, our sister community right there is Borden. So I just hope that, both groups just completely just blow it. I hope they don't make it. I know there's people that thrill seekers that like it close and like that, because basketball is so fast. Such a fast pace, and you can go from 10 to 2, or 2 to 10, 2 to 10. Really quick, but I hope they just blow everybody away. And
I want both of them to be comfortable wins.
Yes,
not just the nail biters. I'm with you. The nail biters.
I'm really trying to work on my nails. Making sure.
But we want comfortable wins for both, and how awesome is it that two communities, neighbors.
I know. They could almost all ride together. What I mean?
I know. So Southern Indiana would be well represented.
So it's going to be exciting. So that's going to be Saturday. We encourage you to go to the game. Always support the youth, support the girls. But if you cannot, we will be broadcasting it, and we're going to have some fun time. Jake is our announcer for our Eastern girls. He does their season, but he's also going to do, this is really going to be fun. So we have, for the Borden announcers, we have Jake doing the Borden, and with him is Jamie Martin, who is a normal name for everybody knows in Borden. So they're going to be, so that's going to be exciting. And then Jake is going to be doing the the Pekin Eastern girls. I don't want to get everybody confused. And Weiniger is going to do that with him. So it's exciting. So it's going to be fun.
So you're right. We encourage everybody, go watch, enjoy. If you can't, WSLM's got you covered.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm getting thumbs up, and I'm getting from Spud. Good job. Thank you, Spud. I appreciate that. We're getting encouragement too, Brad. I love that. But no, so anyway, it'll be a fun game. It'll be fun games, and so and exciting and history making. And the real cool part is on Eastern. If you remember, Taylor Drury, the Eastern ladies coach, played 7 years ago on the Dream Team. She was, and they won. And they're playing the same team. This is cool history.
Same team
that defeated back 7 years ago when she was a player.
It's 9 years ago.
Was it 9?
2017.
Okay. Well, I have trouble with math.
No, that's okay.
Okay. So anyway,
It ended with the 7, so that was no.
Anyway, is that not going to be cool?
Yes, that's
amazing. Tell me that wouldn't
be.
Be.
Awesome.
I mean,
that is awesome.
But
and
they're hungry for this, though. The other teams up there is like, they're hungry.
I'm sorry.
And that's okay. They can have an appetite.
Yeah.
We're going to have the buffet.
This is just destiny, and it's going to be great. So.
Exactly. Exciting.
Yes.
So it's going to be fun, and we can't wait, and we'll be broadcasting it, and we will also have it, of course, we'll be on radio, WSLM 97.9 FM and 1220 AM. We'll also have it on our YouTube, our Twitter, and our Facebook. So, excited.
WSLM has you covered.
We do. Bradley, we got to get out of here. Sad but true. Time goes by so fast, but thank you, Roger Pennington. And we did focus on the football because that was something that was new just a few weeks ago that he got the stamp of approval and got the total unanimous vote to be the football coach. We're very
from interim to official head coach.
Love
so
that.
Congrats
love that.
to him. Yeah.
And then, but he is a baseball coach too, so this is exciting. So we're chomping at the bit for some baseball, sitting outside, watching the birds, the robins, bobbing, and watching a baseball game, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, let's thank our sponsors, Brian.
All right, we've got Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rose's, Fox for Lee Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Marshall Monuments, Totally Baked Sweets, Springer and Springer Insurance, Schneck Hospital, Temple and Temple, and West Bowers for Commissioner.
All right, let's have the best Wednesday ever.
Hi, this is Wes Bowers, and I'm a Republican candidate for District 2 Commissioner here in Washington County. If you're anything like me, you're tired of the way business in our county has been conducted. Whether it be improper procedure or a simple lack of communications, things rarely seem fair to the average person, but appear to benefit a few that are in the right positions. I believe that my 12 years in the Marine Corps, coupled with the last 50
America, you ready to go for another hour? Everybody ready? Coming from Big Face. Let's go, America. Another hour. The question is, are you ready? Is everybody ready? Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Say, yeah, I'm ready. All right, so Wednesday Bible study back today, so we get that back on schedule today. Big announcement coming Monday. We'll give you that announcement you've been waiting on, and then you need to be ready to respond. Speedy and Adler here today. Greg is out. He'll be back on Monday. So be sure and continue to be in prayer for he and Lisa as they go to mourn with dear friends that have had a calamity. This is, some friends that Lisa's, Greg's wife has known since they were kids, and got to be there and be with that family. We totally support that. So be in prayer for the family and also Greg and Lisa as they make that trip today. I understand now that Greg has been made aware and has seen me in the tulip suit.
Oh, yeah.
If you missed that earlier in the show, just look on my Instagram, and that's all you really need to know.
And I'm just going to mention this to Greg.
So Greg knows now.
Who Lee and Greg are probably in the new truck. He's not going to get me today because we're going to receive from Greg very thoughtful texts that are nice and you know what I'm saying, not one word responses, and that's because he's driving and Lee's going to be texting for him. So just understand that whenever she's texting, it's obvious because she's sweet, she's kind, she's considerate.
Yep.
It'll be things like, guys, love y'all, we're doing well so far, miss y'all, but I appreciate y'all. It'll be something like that. It'll be like, well, that's not Greg.
Yep. No, yeah. It's like when she posts for him on Instagram.
Oh, you know it.
And you know it's not him.
Right. Yep. And it's just like with Helix Sleep. I mean, you always give him credit for taking the sleep quiz. He didn't do that.
Yes.
She just asked him questions and she put it all in.
You're exactly right.
But I get it.
All Greg sent to me was, ha, mascot. I can hear his voice.
Right. So, see, we know that's him. But if it had been Lee, it would have been, oh, look, you're in a mascot, but just know you're doing good and you're blah,
But you're
blah,
helping others, Rick, and appreciate you. It's fine.
It just jumps out at you.
Yeah. I will mention this. I've gotten word that the social media clips that the American Village has put together with me in the tulip suit, that they'll be sending those to us as soon as they're done. I want to go ahead and just let y'all know. And look, I know this. Okay, I know it. It's like you, Speedy, are aware of your skinny legs. I'm very much aware that I have a big face. We talk about it openly. Okay. I mean, it's almost like a satellite dish, and I know that, and I've dealt with it. I bring a lot of face to the game.
And it didn't fit in the...
Correct. Yeah, all I could see was to your nose.
Did you know what happened on that? So they tried to put me in this...
Guys, his face doesn't fit.
Right. Now, go ahead. Let's talk about it. Let's get it out there.
I mean, all I see is your eyes and nose in that little hole.
This mascot tulip outfit was set up for a regular size face.
It was.
And so I tried to do the social media clips as the tulip. And they finally had to say, Rick, if you get your face in there where you have your eyes and nose, we can't see your mouth. And we'd like to see your mouth. So I had to almost do away with my forehead and my eyes.
Yeah.
And so you're basically going to see a nose and a mouth talking.
Right,
through
yeah.
Because the face...
It's like you had a blindfold on. You were blind.
Yeah, they didn't want to say...
That's why you didn't see what you were doing.
Your face is bigger than a tulip. They didn't want to say that. And it's not the whole tulip, but it's the hole they have there.
Yeah, the little hole
for the speaking. You see how I've had to... There, so you can't see my mouth. So when I start doing the actual social media stuff, they're like, we'd like to see your mouth. So we lose the eyes and forehead.
Yeah, you do.
Because
it's like these little
too much face.
These photo boards that are painted up like it's a giraffe or whatever, and they got a hole in it, and you can like stop at some of these souvenir places and take a picture. It's like that. That's the hole everybody needs. So you peek through it and everybody takes a picture.
Yippee.
So that's old Greg, right? I mean Rick right there, but Greg is loving that.
Yeah, would I have sent this to y'all for the show if I knew Greg was going to be here today? The answer is no. Y'all would have had to find this on your own. And the odds of y'all seeing it, I think I could have got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you guys honestly follow the social media of American Village. Maybe you should, but I bet you don't. And I think I could have got away with it. But I thought with Greg not being here, I think we can come in here and it'd be somewhat of a safe space, and y'all can share and kind of walk me through it.
He would have gone, and then gone off on it. All right, now I know we've talked about this, but was it sunny? Did you have sun on your face, or were you getting hot? Because you got a little bit of, like I'm getting kind of hot in here.
You don't think that possibly that could be embarrassment that you're seeing?
Oh,
pain.
well, okay.
It's pain. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
that makes sense.
people's face does turn red when they're embarrassed. Did you know that?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
They have tulips, like rows of tulips, for those of you that can't see, and Rick is standing in between that on a row. How many tulips did you step on?
Not that many.
Good.
There's over
Good,
100,000.
Yeah. All right.
So many.
By the way, the Text Nation says, no, you would have never got away with it. We'd have found it.
Oh, yeah, they'd have found it.
Right.
Yeah, they would have gotten into it.
And they're
Especially
right.
when I posted and put it on my story tomorrow.
By the way, they're all saying they're following American Village now
Oh, yeah.
because there's social media clips that are coming.
American Village _Alabama on
Thanks,
Instagram.
buddy. Thank you, Ben.
And then AmericanVillage.org, and then you can see how you can follow all
Right, got it. By the way, Gary said that since Greg's gone, he may come in Friday.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, if Greg's gone, I might come up there. Hey, have you seen the stuff I've been cooking on my Instagram? Yeah, we have, Gary.
Oh, I've got to ask him about his pool. Have you seen the video?
Say it again.
Apparently,
About his pool.
A pool. Pool.
Oh,
Pool.
yeah. Oh, no, he gave me a whole speech on that.
He's filling up his pool.
Yeah, he gave me a whole speech on that.
He said, hey, look, let me tell you something. I told Gwen, I'm done with it. I'm just going to push dirt in it. He said, hey, the kids are gone, and their kids are too. There ain't nobody. I mean, we down at the river now, Gwen. We don't need this stupid swimming pool. It costs us $500 a month to keep that thing up just about. I'm done with it. And he's just filling it in with dirt.
Well, video that I've seen is that he has got Alabama red clay pushing it in an empty pool.
Yep.
Wow, that's real.
By the way, somebody said that American Village just released. They only have about 95,000 tulips now.
Yeah. I know you stepped on a couple.
Okay.
Bless your heart.
It was a.
Well, you couldn't see because your eyes were covered up.
I was all alone. I had no handler. I had nothing. I was just on my own, and it was incredible. And
Wow.
and you know
things we do.
Well, there's another thing that I keep thinking about all the different deals. So, you know, you end up in the tulip costume.
Mm-hmm.
I was told by my doctor, it's time for a full-blown physical again.
Okay.
I think didn't you just go through something similar?
Yeah.
And so now I know
It's the end of the year.
because and you, me, Greg, we all three have this. You know, we have genetically there's heart disease in the family.
Oh yeah.
And so they're always checking on your heart.
So many checks on the heart.
And it's time again for the heart check. And for me, every time that happens, every single time, I wish they would just let me do a twofer on Thursday. Since I've got to take Mom to her cardiologist, while we're here, can we just do it all?
Rick,
you know,
take care of your mom.
Trying to make good time.
Right.
Can we your mom's going to wait on that?
By the way, I had a cousin call my mom yesterday say, I hear Rick talking about us on the show that we cut line in front of y'all last year.
Did they cut?
They did. And they asked her, did you see when they did the pictures of you at the grocery store, Rick? She goes, oh yeah, I had a great laugh about it. And by the way, that's Slade Mom, Adler. Those AI things you did.
Beautiful.
But you know what that's going to lead to. If they take pictures of my heart again to check calcium, you know what that's going to lead to. I have to explain the elevated diaphragm again.
It always comes
It happens every time. Hey, before you take a picture, let me give you a heads up. You know, my diaphragm's not right.
Are you done with the Bo Jackson story and going to do moonwalk?
Yeah, I just come clean now. Look,
Okay.
I'm dressed as a tulip now. What can I hide now?
Sure.
Yeah, right.
You know, so that's it. It's all out there now.
This is the Rick Burgess Show.
Hey, there's nothing more important than protecting who you love from harm. Join the millions of Americans who trust Simply Safe to protect their homes. Traditional home security systems wait until after a break-in to react. That's too late. Simply Safe found at simplysafe.com/bigbox. Our special discount link is a smarter way. Monitoring plans are affordable, starting at around $1 a day with no contracts. Enjoy 50% off a new system with professional monitoring at simplysafe.com/bigbox. If you're feeling more aches and pains these days and other symptoms from inflammation in our bodies, we just got the solution, Relief Factor. Their 3-week quick start for just $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that is 100% drug-free, and it targets the inflammation that causes pain, so you can move better, feel better, and actually enjoy life again. Give it a try today at ReliefFactor.com or call them 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF, or go to RickBurgessShow.com for that info.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
I'm Dr. Howard Levine, Director of Cleveland Nasal Sinus and Sleep Center. During cold and flu season, I tell my patients the key to staying well is to pull out germs, mucus, bacteria, and viruses from the nose using the Navage-powered nasal irrigator. I irrigate my own nose daily with Navage to stay healthy and after seeing sick patients.
For drug-free congestion relief, trust #1 doctor-recommended Navage. Available at Walmart and Walgreens.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
If you're looking to lose weight but not interested in painful weekly injections, especially when you hear about some of those intense side effects, you may want to try Lean. Doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the studied ingredients have shown to lower your blood sugar, burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb your appetite and cravings so you're not as hungry. So let's get you started with a 20% off discount and free rush shipping. Go to TakeLean.com, enter the code BIGVOX.
The man who shaved 30 minutes off his last road trip, Rick Burgess.
All right, here we go, America. As we continue to walk through another show together, thank you for being with us. More unscreened phone calls coming up before we're done today. You guys, the last one, some good questions. So we'll continue to work through that. By the way, big moment yesterday during the Vox seats, big moment. Yesterday, I did not realize that one of the people in the Vox seats yesterday is Diesel, who was banned from calling.